If you don't know Harold, you probably can't get a real picture of him, and I just want to talk about it because I know him quite well. He grew up in a tough neighborhood in Boston, and it made a big impression on him. And he was a very tough guy, and he had a gruff exterior. If you heard him talk, he'd have a deep voice and yeah, that's right, or no, that's not right. And, you know, it's wow, this guy's a tough guy. But he wasn't a tough guy. And that was his facade. He had a big heart. He was just a wonderful individual with a heart of gold who was very compassionate and wanted to do things to help other people because he knew he was strong. And he knew that the strong take care of the weak, and that was his philosophy.
And I think he really appreciated the kind of difference agencies like Jewish Family Services can make in a family's life. And so I think he got very caught up with that because it was many of the values he had in his own life.
And my experience with Harold and philanthropy, which is kind of limited, when I became active at JFS, there was a big push at that point for endowment. And people asked me if I would run that campaign for JFS, which I reluctantly agreed to because I had no experience doing anything like that in my life, calling people asking for money. But I accepted that, and the first guy I went to was Harold. I said, Harold, and I explained this whole thing about JFS, and I knew he was a supporter, and I told him that we had to raise a certain amount of money and so on and so forth. And he says to me, he said, well, he said, let me speak to my wife about it. 2 weeks later, I think we had lunch, and we started talking about it. I said, Harold, did you happen to think about what I asked you, and whether you could help with this endowment challenge that they're running in Hartford? He said, yeah. And he told me a number to me that was astronomical compared to what I was asking, what I was thinking. And I just was floored. I said, wow. He said, yeah, we're going to give you that money. So I said to him, I'm just so amazed. That's a lot of money, Harold. And he looks at me and he says, well, he says, they need it, don't they? I said, yeah, they do. He says, okay, well, you got it then.
You know, one of the things that's a very special honor for us, Marilyn, Harold, I know you're with us today, and I just want to let you know, and we want to let you know, what a terrific example by your leadership that you've set for us from the time we were quite young in the community, and just know what a difference you're making in this community as we all go forward, continuing to water and grow the seeds that you've really helped us plant.
He was very compassionate about people who were disadvantaged. And that's what fits into his philanthropy to JFS. So many ways you had to help people, and people needed help, and they don't know where to turn. And that's the wonderful thing about JFS, and that's what Harold understood. In life, you meet a few really very, very great people. In my life, Harold was one of them, and he's one of the few I would count on as somebody who made a difference in my life, made a difference in a lot of people's lives. He was a great example for everybody. He is a great example. And the whole community owes him a debt because he was there for everybody, and still is.